Hello and welcome to Channel Sport this morning. It's great to have you join us again. I am Tayo Salam.
I'm Cecilia Omogbe. We're not smiling so much this morning. Yes, I'm still smiling because it's the Olympics. But then the medal hopeful for Nigeria, talking about Odunayo Adekunle, she did not make it past her round. She lost via pinfall to Nikita.
Yes, Cecilia, Anastasia, Nikita winning that particular event, that wrestling matchup by fall, victory by fall, despite the fact that although I was leading 8-2 on points, Odunayo Adekunle literally falling out of the wrestling events of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. We'll come back to that story later on the show. Also still talking about the Olympics, another 400 meters final, another 400 meters world record, this time in the women's category. Cecilia, Sydney McLaughlin breaking our world record again. Again.
51.46 seconds. It's getting better and better.
Wow.
Okay, thrilling race it was for her.
Take about wherever you are, Sydney.
The Americans dominating the 400 meters women's hurdle. Remember, Dalila Muhammad? Yep. All right, also on the program, again, Benin Insurance are threatening to pull out of the Nigeria National League, the most important league
Indeed.
in the country. You'll get to hear about the reasons much later on the program. All right, let's start off with what happened to Adekunle this morning. I mean, everyone expected, even when Team Nigeria was going to the Olympics, and if you talk about track and field, we'll get medals from there. Everyone is saying, what about wrestling? And the name that usually comes to mind is Adekunle Odunayo. Yeah. But this time around, it just wasn't to be at all for her. You would say maybe it's just some of those days when you do everything you can, but somehow it will not just be your day. I think that's the only way I can describe what happened to Adekunle Odunayo this morning.
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's a shame, quite unfortunate as well. Like I said, going into the Olympics, Odunayo was Nigeria's #1 medal prospect in the wrestling. So when, Blessing Oborodudu went on to win that silver. You thought, oh, fantastic, Odunayo is going to take it not further, and perhaps they're going to strike gold for the country, but wasn't meant to be. We're seeing her in action against Nikita, Anastasia in that fight. She was leading 8-2 on points, like we said. But just like in boxing, you might be leading on points, and if you get knocked out, that's the end of the bout. She unfortunately fell in that bout and was pinned, and that was the end of the bout for Odunayo Adekunle. Cecilia, very, very sad, unfortunate situation for her.
So unfortunate. We're also hopeful that if Nikita gets to reach the final, you know, move further, then she can actually compete in the repechage where she will have opportunity of competing for a bronze medal. But somehow she lost.
Ouch.
And so
it's always good to have your fate in your hands.
Yeah,
if she had won that bout, you won't be depending on any other wrestler, you know. So a confirmation
could happen to anyone.
Yeah, it can happen. Any little mistake, you're done for. It's like any combat sport. Confirmation of that outing now for you, 8-2 in favor of Odunayo Adekunle, but she lost by fall. Another Nigerian was in action, the only male
athlete. Ekere Agiomo, he lost in the 86 kg category.
Oops.
He was beaten. I mean, he was totally beaten.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
he was beaten 12-1. Why do you like that?
I mean, like
of India.
When I say I like it, I mean like you've described it perfectly. 12-1 victory by technical superiority. I mean, that's 11 points difference between the two scores. So, not great at all. So that's the end of the road for Ekere as well. So in wrestling, they've delivered 1 silver medal, which is not bad at all. The first ever for the country. Take about wherever you are, the old wrestling team, and especially Blessing Oborodudu. Lastly, in the women's canoe sprint, finally got to see Bello Ayomide in action. She came third in Heat 3 with a time of 47.539 seconds. It was good enough to get into the semifinals, but in the quarterfinals, she improved on that time, 47.326, but not enough to advance into the semifinals. So she has been eliminated.
That's
Great
the
experience, great exposure for Bello Ayomide.
Yeah, I remember in Rio 2016. Well, yeah, Rio 2016 one will have just one canoe slalom. Yeah, and he wasn't born here.
Yeah,
But the
Jonathan
good thing,
Akinyemi.
Jonathan Akinyemi, yeah,
Yes.
Jonathan Akinyemi, he wasn't born here, but it was born in the UK. But
Yeah.
right now we have homegrown talent. We're able to send down
Awesome.
to canoe sprint and of course rowing, which
Yes.
was a good one for Nigeria. Hopefully, Paris 2024. I think it's looking brighter now because what happened in London 2012 and the Rio Olympics was nothing to write home about. But in Tokyo 2020, we've been able to get 2 medals. I think that would just be all for Team Nigeria because
Yes.
the only event we have left is the
Yeah.
4 by 100 meters relay women, and
We know the issues
we're
there.
not complete at all. So Ese Brume will be drafted.
Toby
Toby
Amusha
Omuson
as
will
well.
be drafted.
Yeah.
Of course, Blessing Onkocha, she will
Grace.
she will now be Grace Onkocha.
Yeah.
She will now be the one to lead the charge for Team Nigeria. So it's really not looking good at all. Maybe Inse will be
Chukwe-
drafted into it too. Chukwe
Yeah, I was
Bukaso
going to
shot
say
put
we still have
final.
a chance in the short put final.
Those top-
Chukwubuka Enekwechi has also made it to the short put final, Cecilia.
Which is a good one
All
for
right.
him also.
Good one, indeed. We've got a special guest that's going to join us in a moment, but after this report, that summarizes Nigeria's first 2 medals at the Olympics.
Welcome back. All right, our 2 medalists in Rio, in Tokyo. With Rio. Enoch Adekoke will be joining us this morning live from Tokyo. He has finished his race. I mean, he got to the final of the 100 meters. It's not easy for you to making your debut at the Olympics, also making it to the final, especially when you're running alongside the big boys. He pulled off a hamstring injury, so he couldn't finish his race, and everyone was literally heartbroken,
Yeah.
for him. Enoch, good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Yeah, good morning.
How
It's
are
good to be on
you?
the show this morning. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm fine.
How is your injury?
Yeah, well, I'm getting better day by day.
Okay, we're happy about that. So tell us, what was it like being to Rio? Because you were happy. You said, yeah, you were more like you were destined to run. I mean, running by revelation, and then you went to Tokyo. What was the experience like when you stepped into Japan?
Yeah, the experience has been golden, to be sincere. Has been awesome. Coming to my first Olympics and God helping me to have this kind of achievement. I'm really grateful to God. Firstly, it felt like a dream to me, but then I eventually noticed it's a reality. So it's been an awesome moment for me, to be sincere.
Awesome indeed. I mean, you know already that you're the first finalist in the 100 meters since 1996. Davidson Ezenwa was the last Nigerian athlete to do that. But back to that race, I was watching it with my colleagues, and we're all rooting for you, hoping that you somehow sneak on the podium. And what happened. But before you pulled up injured, do you have any sign? Was there any cramp, or was there any sign that told you that perhaps something was wrong?
Prior to the race, I wasn't feeling anything serious like that.
Okay.
After my semi-finals, I felt some tightness on my legs, and
Right.
which is normal because
Okay.
running around. Then our physiotherapist prepared me ahead of the final, and after stretching in and doing everything, I was feeling good. But then, it's just like breaking myself into another level of sprinting. I guess the intensity was a bit much, and probably I couldn't cope with it again. So I was being prepared for the final, to be sincere, by a medical team. But then what happened probably just happened like that. And there are some things you can't really just control. So that's it.
Some things you can control, and we're all glad that it's nothing too serious, and you're set to resume your career again after the Olympics. So what is next for you now going forward? I recall last year you were supposed to be on your way to the USA, to college. What's the situation with that now?
I got an admission to school in the US now.
Okay.
I had one or two hiccups along the line, so I couldn't continue the process again.
Okay.
So I had to, let me just say, I had to switch plans. So that's just it. There's not really much talk on that for now. But then as time goes on, all my plans would definitely be obvious to anyone.
Yeah, interesting. Now, are you going to go to European circuit or something if you're not maybe no longer trying to maybe chase the US college thing?
Well, I actually competed in the European circuit before coming to Rio. I
Hmm.
mean, to Tokyo. Just one race actually. So I will probably go back to Europe and continue my recovery process, and if eventually I'm able to compete. But for now, I don't think there will be any competition on ground for now for me.
Yeah, when you rub the sub 10, in your hits, what was it like for you? Because when you're making an appearance at a big stage like that, running that particular time is usually very difficult for most athletes, but somehow you were able to manage it.
Well, coming to this Olympics, I prayed, I trained, and I trusted God for everything, and I knew it would happen. And going to that particular race, the hunger in me was very much. I just wanted to run in 9 seconds. I want to be in the 9 seconds club. And well, I knew I had big guns in my hits, but then I just had one instruction from my coach, Ayokunle Odelusi. He gave me one instruction in particular that I should follow, and God helping me, I was able to follow the instructions. He actually told me, even if they are ahead of me, I should just keep on following what he told me to do. And I was able to do it, and it eventually resulted to the results that everyone saw. So running that particular 9 seconds, it was a big deal for me, and I really thank God.
Before we let you go quickly, the warfare and everything in Tokyo, how has it been for you athletes, especially when no medals were coming until S.A. Brume won the first medal?
The welfare in the Games Village is general to all countries, so there is no preference, there's no cheating. Everyone gets the same equal amount of treatment from the hosts, and I think that's all. That's all.
All right, Enoch, I want to thank you so much for taking our time to talk to us this morning. All the best.
Yeah, thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right, that's the fastest man right now in Nigeria, Enoch Adekoke.
Based right here in the country as well.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
first
homegrown talent.
homegrown. It just tells you that the talents are just so many, and say they're everywhere, and it's just about discovering them and trying to develop them as well to take them to the next level. Okay, we're three now in the studio.
Yeah.
Also, because we've got another athlete and sport athletics analyst, Asa Oguma. Okay, not the Asa Bruma boy. Yeah. Asa, good morning. It's great to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah, you're an athlete as well as a sports analyst, and obviously you are going to be aiming to get to the Olympics one day as well.
Yeah. Working towards it.
Working towards it. I wish you all the best with that aspiration, because the Olympics obviously is the grandest of stages for any athlete out there.
True. And I mean, that's why I'm really excited to see, very good number of home-based athletes get into the Olympics. It just shows that, if these guys can actually do it, I can as well do it.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, your specialty quarter mile at 400 meters, which is usually,
we didn't have any
At all.
qualifier for
It was
the
hard.
40 miles. Both
Yes.
men, okay, we had for women,
Yeah.
Patience Okonjo, but for the guys, you guys, what's
none
going
could
on?
make it.
I think it's quite hard. For the 400 meter, even looking at the standard, 44.90, it was really high for us. The only Nigerian that could make it, when you talk about Nigerians in general, was Bamidele Emmanuel, though he's in Qatar now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he didn't even go to the Olympics,
Yeah.
But I don't know what we're doing wrong. I don't know, because even those, the 400 meter guys in the US and we that are here, I don't know where we're getting it wrong. But the only athletes, Urupe Uriel Khan,
Yeah.
who did that in 2015, hasn't been able to get back to that level. And for him, he says it's all about funding, not being funded properly. When he's injured, nobody to take care of his injury. I'm sure he should be in 43.
Yeah,
but
he should be.
I mean, he's
Because
not just there.
very talented.
He's very talented.
Yeah.
He's very talented. He had never represented Nigeria in an individual race until the African Games in 2015, where he got to the semifinals running 45, you know, and 44.9 in the heat, 45 in the semifinals,
Yeah.
but he hasn't been able to get back to that level again, you know, due to what I said, funding,
reasons, yeah.
injuries, and all of that not being taken care of.
And a lot of those reasons are, you know, unique to Nigerian athletes. I mean, other countries, they've got the advantage of having all of this kind of supports are for them. All they do is train and focus on improving their times.
it.
Unlike you guys, you're distracted by so many issues off the tracks.
True. What
Yeah,
to eat,
yeah.
how to go to training, funding yourself to competitions, accommodation. You know, there's a lot, and we're not just getting it right in that aspect, and that is a lot on an athlete to deal with.
It's a whole lot, but at least we had something to smile about in Tokyo when the whole track and field event. Everyone was waiting for track and field because, you know, the very badminton and the others. Yeah, we know. Okay, that's not our
Track and field is our strength.
Strength, of
Yeah.
course. So when it all started, and then the whole issue of 10 disqualified already,
Yes.
then blessing issue came up,
Blessing.
and finally. I mean, we had to take a deep breath when it was time for Essie Brume that night. We had to like, okay, let's stay awake and, you know, relieve our, you know, depressed mood. And of course,
Yeah.
she did us proud.
She delivered.
What was it
Yeah.
like for you, you know, going through track and field and what has been happening? Okay, you know what, we need to go on a break. Yeah, when we come back, you answer that question on how it's been for track and field athletes in Nigeria. Welcome back. Yes, Essay is still here. Essay Oguma. All right, we're talking about, you know, generally, I mean, Nigeria's performance so far in track and field events.
Yeah, I think it's really, really encouraging getting to the finals in some of these events. For many of them, they were first timers. Looking at Grace Owonkocha in the 100 and 200, running the fifth fastest time by a Nigerian ever in the women's 100 meter, 11.00. She went on to the 200, running 22.47 in the heat, and then 22.47 again in the semifinals. She was 9th overall. She was just one spot away from making the finals, which would have been very historic, you know. But, I mean, it's a great experience going to the Commonwealth and the World Championship next year. Also, Enoch Adegoke, obviously, we just had him here. It was an amazing moment for him. He has been wanting to run this 9 seconds. He has done 10.05. He has done 10.06. He has done 10.00.
Yeah,
And the next was just to go to a 9, and he ran a 9.98. Really, really excited for him. Essie Brume as well in the women's long jump. Her first jump, 6.97, was just all she needed, and that gave her the bronze medal. She was like, I mean, it doesn't matter the color of medal. As long as she has a medal on her neck, that's what's important, and we're really, really proud of her. Chukwuebuka Enekwechi, who is making rounds now with washing his jersey.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think it's deleted. You know, it was supposed to delete because I can't find it again. That's
It's
ridiculous.
everywhere.
It is everywhere.
Like, he's got just one jersey. I mean,
Just one, and I told him that
Allegedly.
okay, you can put it behind the AC.
yeah, that's
Then
not behind. Okay, if there's a fridge there, that's another
yeah,
method that
or
works.
he
Yeah.
should turn on the fan.
Fridge.
Yeah, behind the fridge, just put it in the heat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
interesting. Both of you, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm really,
You don't
really
even know what. Do you know the meaning? That's what you call wash and wear.
wash and wear. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a shame.
Yeah.
But
And then he's in the finals of the
Yeah,
men's
shot
shot
puts.
puts. You know, ranked 14th in the world this year with 21.53 meters in the men's shot puts. Commonwealth silver medalist. I really, 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 really look forward to seeing him do great. Patience Okon, I feel should have done better, but I'm sure like the energy she used in the 4x4
relay.
mix running with
Mixed,
men.
yeah.
I'm sure like all she wanted to put in the 400 flat, she had done that already in the 4x4 mix, you know. So I'm really, really excited about all of them. And moving on to 2024 Olympics, I'm sure we'll have better athletes in the finals. In Ishekiru Ishorishe would have as well done better if not for his injury.
Yeah.
You know, and the 10 other athletes who were exempted from the relay, disqualified. Ruth Soro, who's the national record holder in the triple jump, she would have been NCAA champion as well. She would have done so well. Favor of Philly in the 200 meters, Annette in the hammer, Sisi in the discus. You know, a whole lot of them that would have done Nigeria proud we're out. And I'm sure this is a great lesson for the federation, even the athletes and their coaches as well.
Yep.
You know, it's not just the federation. Everybody is involved, even the media, because we all know that we're in category A. So we have our part to play in, you know, putting out there that, hey, have we done this? Have we done that? I remember I talked about it earlier in the year, you know, but maybe my voice was not loud enough,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah, so-
big ups to all of them. They're all Olympians at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're all Olympians. We just look forward to. You know, Tayo, we're going to say something about Divine Oduduru when you're competing at a high level, especially in the NCAA. He was so good. I mean, during the time he was in school, but when he got out, injury happened, and then that have actually slowed down. I don't know how many races he was able to run this year. It was quite few compared to what he did in 2019 and everything. But getting to the Olympics, yes, the 100 meters, the so-called false start that I didn't see anyway. And then the 200 meters, he just couldn't make around 21.6.
Yeah.
I mean, he just couldn't make it because the likes of Noah Lyles were running as if he was running out of passion. And DeGrasse, I mean, running 19 at 7.3.
97, yeah.
It's like crazy.
So for Divine, I really feel like he's going to get back there. It might just take time, but I believe that he's going to get back there. That Divine we saw in 2019, I feel that he will get back there in due time. I mean, he did a 19.8 this year.
Yeah, 1988,
You know, which
yeah.
ranked him 5th overall in the year ranking, and that showed great prospect going into the Olympics. But I feel with all the drama that's been happening and everything surrounding the Olympics, with the false starts, it has a way of playing with our mental health and, you know, getting us destabilized.
Yeah.
So I feel like that played a great role in his race, you know, running 20.36 in the heat and 20.13 in the semifinals. He was 9th overall. He would have made the finals too, but sadly,
Close but no
sadly,
cigar.
Close, yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I still have so much hope in Divine.
Of course.
I believe he would come back
Still.
to that 19.7,
19.7.
9.8. Just a matter of time. We're not losing hope.
No, can't lose hope just yet. I mean, he still has a lot of years ahead of him. 1973. I was actually very, you know, I thought he would make the final at the very least. Fastest in his semi-final race. I mean, everything pointed to Divine gets into the final. But like I said, wasn't meant to be a lot of issues that you guys deal with. That other countries
They
know,
don't have those issues.
exactly.
And we can't even
So-
start listing it.
So it's not fair competition already that way. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, that's it for Ase Oguma on the show today, making his debut. I want to wish you all the best for the rest of your career. Hopefully you can come back from the injury as well, and eventually one day be an Olympian.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us on the show. Okay, Cecilia.
Yeah, quickly, we'll just take a breather. We'll use this one, Sydney McCollin, who shattered our own 400 meters hurdles world record in 51.46 seconds. So she got the better of her fellow American,
Delilah
Delilah
Muhammad.
I mean, it was a thrilling, lived up to his expectations. Remember yesterday, 400 meters hurdles, we talked about how, you know, all the guys who finished in top 5, right? Yeah, setting
Broke
records,
one record or the
or
other.
the other. And then here you have a big expedition race where you have the two ladies who won first and second also setting some records. After that, we'll have Olawale Shola joining us. Olawale Shola is right here in the studio. Olawale, it's been Happy New Year's.
Good morning, Cecilia. Good morning, Tayo. It's been a long while.
Yeah, it's been ages,
I
man.
took like an hiatus coming to the channels.
Yeah.
So I've missed the studio, I've missed the horror, I've missed the topics that we normally discuss about. But I was with you guys in spirit,
Yeah.
actually. My body was not here, but my spirit was
You're
there always.
always watching,
Yeah,
right?
always watching you.
All right, indeed.
Good to be back.
Welcome back, indeed.
Thank you.
And let's just Olympics season. Before we wrap up the Olympics segment, quickly your thoughts on Nigeria's performance so far.
I wasn't expecting too
Okay.
much because Olympics is the highest level of competition in sports. So with our preparation, our pinch of not doing things right, we got a fair dose of disappointment at the
Okay.
Olympics from the disqualification of 10 Nigerian athletes, which, you know, I don't need to go much into that because the AFN, the body in charge of athletics in Nigeria, are totally culpable. They wouldn't tell us that they don't know about what is going on, about the A-list we hear on the doping list of International Athletics Association of Federation of the world. Unfortunately, we went there, hoping that maybe they would change things. Unfortunately, we were stopped from competing. It's so disappointing for the athletes that were stopped because there are some medal hopefuls there. The guy that just left said about it now. I haven't said that, you know. Cecilia, we still got something to share about. Mr. Brume gave us a bronze medal in long jump with a jump of 6.97 meters. Toby Amuson was so close.
Yeah.
So close. Because, you know, going to the Olympics, you must have sacrificed the preparation, the mental alertness. But altogether, there's still hope for us. Tayo, if you can build on these Olympics, go into the next Olympics, you can do well. It's been a long time without someone appearing in 100 meters. I have to celebrate Enoch Adokeke.
Of course.
He got to the 100 meters finals. Unfortunately, the hard luck that has dogged us from the beginning of the Olympics reared its ugly head again in the 100 meters, and Enoch got injured. So I haven't said that. This morning again, so disappointing news.
Oduayo.
Eduardo Adokoroye was leading 8-2. Unfortunately, a slam got off, and it was so disappointing. I was watching that. I had to off my TV set, and I couldn't because the disappointment was too much. It really got on me. But I haven't said that. What I need the Nigerian authorities to do is that support these athletes. Tayo, Cecilia, long jump should be one of the areas now we should be producing a lot of athletes. This is the only field events that won us gold, silver, and bronze at the Olympics. It shows we have it. We have it. If you continue to discover athletes, if you continue to invest in athletes, it's one area we can get medals. And with the likes of Enoch, Divine Oduduru, Shekiri coming in now, if you invest in them, we have a chance at the next Olympic in Paris, 2023. You understand? We have a chance in Paris. But if we don't do things right, we'll continue to sing the same song in the next Olympics. Because Olympics starts now. As this one is ending, others are coming in.
The cycle
the form you
starts
think
again.
you have now, you might not have it then. Because there'll be some people that will come in again. So it's a long process. Blessing Oburudu and Ese Brume, they didn't win by accident. Cecilia, let's be factual. They didn't win by accident.
Nope.
It has been years of preparation. See what Daniel Gigali has done with wrestling Nigeria. It takes a lot of sacrifice. So we need the likes of Daniel Gigali to lead other federations. It's quite unfortunate what's happening to the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. We have two boards claiming to the leadership of AFN. It really affected us. So all other areas like wrestling, unfortunately, Cecilia, we don't have, the boxing has been totally, to me, with us not participating at the Olympics with a single boxer, we don't have boxing anymore in Nigeria.
How many events do we have left?
Yes.
I was trying to think of it. Maybe they were thinking Adekure will win something.
Something, yeah.
And then 4x100 meters, I don't know what they're thinking about that. Because I'm not, if we get to the final of that, I will celebrate. But I'm not sure we will. It's not as if I'm being pessimistic, but that's the reality on ground in that one. Then if
They're struggling to raise a team.
Enekweche, if he manages to get into the podium, then it's also going to be a surprise for him. Because if you take a look at the top guys in the world, he's number 11, right? So it's, I mean,
It's a tough ask.
it's a tough ask for him. But he's in
Cecilia,
the
it's
final,
rare.
which is for me a plus also, and also an improvement on his part. So when talking about you want to triple, you know, the money for gold, silver, and bronze medal, I'm like, okay, where is it coming from?
Yeah, well-
But it's a good one for the federal government. So the likes of Ese Brume and Blessing Oburudu getting a triple of what they could have received, which is just a single one.
And just last weekend, Remo and Joy Comment played 1-1 after regulation time. The extra time, the match was abandoned. And 2 red cards were issued to Joy Comment player in Lagos, including the goalkeeper. And the players and the official discovered that the referee was not fair, and they abandoned the match. The rules, according to FIFA, matches must be completed. And any match that fall within outside the regulation time, the score as at the time the match was abandoned is supposed to be what is will be. And if you want to follow that, that means Joy Comment and Remo played 1-1. And they're arguing that a penalty was given. The penalty was not taken. And I want to refer them back to their decision, 3SC and go round. There was even a goal. It was even 2-1. And they took a decision to reverse the goal that was called, because it was not during regulation time. And that match was given to, it ended 1-1. Also, Bende Insurance versus Oliarus. It was within regulation time. We were asked that, in line with FIFA regulation, that matches must be completed. We were asked to go and play the remaining 15 minutes in a neutral ground in Enugu. We went there, we played. Don't also forget, Bende Insurance and Remo, that has been a controversy. We accepted the appeal panel's verdict. And remember, I said that I hope when the game starts, they will not shift the post. Now the game has started, they are shifting the post. Unfortunately, Remo now is on the receiving end, because the rules favored them against Bende Insurance. Now, they are bending the rules now that it's not in favor of Remo, to favor Remo. And we are saying you cannot aid Remo to Premiership. We are already here in Ughelli. We are not going to play this match until NNL take a decision on the match between Remo and Joy Comment. And they cannot bend the rules now. Just last 2 weeks, they took a decision against Bende Insurance in favor of Remo. 2 weeks after, the same decision is catching up with Remo, and they want to bend the rules. We will not accept that. As far as we are concerned, the match between Remo and Joy Comment is 1-1. And if it's not reversed, it's not a threat, we will withdraw from the league.
Okay, they're expected to face Jatete today, and they are not playing. I'll give you 30 seconds to wrap up NNL. Yeah, because I don't want to dwell on this. 30 seconds.
NNL this season has been dogged by controversial decisions. NNL body that should be the arbiter in the league has been very, very inconsistent with decision. Violence here and there, go round, shooting went to go round, and player and fans enter into the pitch. They even attacked the referee. The referee, to save his life, had to allow the match to continue until a goal was scored against shooting. And then they had to reverse that decision. It was an eyesore in Djibouti when Insurance went to play Remo Stars. I saw players climbing the fence, jumping the fence to save their lives. What kind of a league is that?
Okay.
If you cannot play the league, if the player's life is at stake, they should stop the league. The NNL this season has been a disappointment. Let me tell you something. If we cannot showcase ourselves to the world, it's better we keep our shame and disappointment here in Nigeria than exposing ourselves to the rest of the world. Those pictures, those videos are going viral everywhere, whereby players are fighting, fans are encroaching, and it has been one violence or the other. I heard what they're saying, that they are in Ughelli, but they won't play. This has been the problem. Vandreza had their own problem too. They had to withdraw at one point. They were persuaded, they came back. What kind of a league is that? I've seen like 4 or 5 teams stressing they're not playing anymore in the league.
Okay,
and these have been the problem in the Southern Conference.
In conclusion,
and not so much problem in the Northern Conference.
In conclusion, stop the league. Okay.
Straight off.
All right, that's what you think. Not my words.
That's all our list.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right, let's quickly talk about Rivers Angels and leave the most important league in Nigeria. I'll talk about Rivers Angels. They will be up against Hasaka Ladies tomorrow. That's the final of the WAFOB tournament. And they have the pleasure of actually having a commissioner around. So I think he's going to boost them tomorrow. So let's just listen to, the players, yeah. Deborah and Ezenangu Marian, who knows how to, predict games.
It was easy and it was difficult at the same time because the Togolese players that came from their country, and for the fact that they are the best representing their country, it wasn't an easy task. But then we give thanks to God, and for my teammates, I really appreciate their effort. We came all out on the girls and we did our best to ensure we qualify for the CAF ticket. As a footballer, I'm prepared to meet any team, be a soccer or any team. And I'm sure myself and my teammates, we are prepared and we are going to keep working and keep putting our efforts more and more to make sure we win Asaka's Lady for the second time.
I'm very, very excited. I'm very, very happy. Like, I can't even express myself. I'm very, very happy. And I thank God for everything. It has been God. We are very, very prepared. As always, we take every match like it's our last game. So we are very, very ready for them. And we believe we can still beat them again.
You can as well see me smiling. All goes according to plan. We all agreed that we must qualify first. And that was what you just saw yesterday. It's an agreement between me, the players, the backroom staff, the technical crew, that we must fly the flag of Nigeria here on a very high note.
Fly the flag on a very high note. The sky should be the limit.
They've done that to a certain extent already by qualifying for the Champions League, the maiden edition. Now it's just, to top it up with the win in the final. I wish them all the best in that game against the Ghanaian opponents.
All right, time to take a look at the papers now. Start with Complete Sports. And Complete Sports here, you have a good one. I mean, when you win medals, you make the front page.
Yes.
I never settled for less. That's S.A. Brume after winning long jump bronze event. After winning a bronze medal in long jump in Tokyo, and Blessing defies knee injury to win silver. FG to pay for her surgery. Is this supposed to be news? Who else is going to pay for it? Okay.
Okay. Is that all?
That's for Complete Sports. Yeah, basically that's the biggest story right now. Except Onuachu finally opens goal account for Genk. Yeah, he didn't start the way he started on fire last season.
Anyways, let's go to Sporting Life. Osimhen must run less to score more goals. That's according to Napoli. Our coach, Inter Milan, reject Chelsea's £88 million plus Alonso to resign Romelu Lukaku. Real Madrid relying on Mbappe to complete transfer after PSG star's decision. Iheanacho ready to go. As for the new Premier League season, Ancelotti wants Real Madrid to sell Hazard, and Partey is set to miss start of the season. Another injury for Thomas Partey.
Oh, that's highly disappointing. Since he signed that contract with Arsenal last season, he started so well, but injury has really hampered his progress. And it's really affecting the Arsenal, because in that team, they need steel, which Partey will have provided for them. But when you miss such a rock-solid player, it's really affecting the team. And I hope Mikel Arteta will look for backups, because in football, your first 11 doesn't matter in the league. You need a very large team to cope with the rigors of playing in the league. And again, the EPL has been very, very competitive, whereby the influx of players from abroad has made the league so competitive, whereby it takes a lot of effort for you to even get to the top 6, not even top 4 anymore. You now have the top 6 that is so difficult to get into. So if Arsenal is not careful, again, it may be another season of turmoil and disappointment for them.
Sporting Sun is the last one here. In Sporting Sun, just roll through this one quickly. West Ham pulls out of Onuachu's talks. You also have Napoli coach telling Osimhen to run less and score more goals. All right, Olawale Solomon, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning.
You're welcome, Cecilia.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Hopefully you don't be a stranger anymore. Sure. Anyways,
I'll be much around going onwards.
All right. Thank you very much for watching as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Tayo Salam.
I'm Cecilia Mogbesi tomorrow.